Adolf Hitler. You know what he did?
Amongst the Germans.
He killed a ton of his people. No, he actually won Time Man of the Year, too, in America.
You are obsessing over not letting me finish because you know I'm going to make a coherent point.
You should have. You did research. You didn't look at, this is literally my personality.
And this is what has got you canceled.
I'm a bully. I'm a literal bully. Agree? And it's fine.
You know what, Dennis? I don't think you're a terrible person. Talk about your debate with Isaiah Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have here, I wasn't able to get the clip, but you debated the guy, what, 3 weeks ago? This was on Jubilee.
It was published 3 weeks ago. I debated him December 12th, I think.
Yeah. How do you think that played out for you? Because I was talking to you while you were at your booth a couple weeks ago, and you just had nothing but criticism for Jubilee, that it was liberal, that it was...
It is. Jubilee is a liberal platform. You don't think so?
I mean... I wouldn't necessarily. If they were, they make it very hard to seem so.
Oh no, it's very evident they're liberal. They have a
what makes you say that?
Liberal bias because of the way that they cast people, the way that they, the way
what do you mean?
Who they choose to be at the center. And I know you may say, oh, but they had Charlie Kirk, they had Ben Shapiro. Well, the way they did those debates. First off, all those guys are genius debaters, and they can handle most people. But the way they curated the conversation was very much primed for this lefty core, right? It's going to appeal. You have this girl just going up there, like screaming at Ben Shapiro. It appeals to that demographic, right? It's not really dialogue, right? Somebody on the right.
I agree. I don't agree with the format in which Jubilee places these debates. I think it's just a matter of quick, get your clip in, say whatever you want to say, shotgun all your points, and then have it come right back at you. And then
so that's part of what I tried to do. I knew I was going into this environment that was a curated environment. And just so you guys can have a frame of reference. So the first time around, I debated him on immigration. I think they published 4.5 minutes of that debate. I debated him just over 6, maybe almost 7 minutes. The second debate was almost half an hour, and they only published 14 minutes of it. So a lot got cut out, right? And there was a very...
Do you think what got cut out would have been a game changer for you? Or?
Not really, but there were specific things that got cut out, like some of his reactions, some things that he said that didn't just land. Like the debate about Democrats hate America. He tried to make this like meandering point.
Do you actually believe that?
It's a premise. It definitely is a premise when you consider how the state, for example, California, has been mismanaged, and how instead of actually addressing this openly and talking about the real issues, how they just lie. Like you have people like Gavin Newsom. Yesterday, there's this clip going viral
of him.
He was in Georgia,
the mayor.
And he's literally he's feeding into a racist trope, saying that like he's looking at a black man
and and like I know. Like 940 SAT. I know.
But this is a man that was raised by the Gettys. Richest, at one point the richest family in the world, and he's talking about how he had all these struggles. That to me, to be that level of dishonest, you must think down on the people that you're representing. Because I want authentic politicians. I want people who are real. You have to have some level of disdain and dislike for those people. You have to think beneath you.
What does it mean to actually hate America, though? Because I don't think
to hate America is to allow 20 million immigrants to come in unvetted and then put the blame on the American people, who are the ones who are footing the bill for that.
Who's putting the blame on the American people?
I mean, that's what's happening. That's what Newsom. That's what Biden. They were all saying like. You're all of a sudden, if you question this, you're a xenophobe. You're a bigot.
Biden kept Trump-level funding of ICE throughout his entire...
But he wasn't deporting people at the same rate. He started deporting...
He was deporting hundreds and thousands of people.
Towards the end, yes. But he had CBP-1 that was... he was just basically allowing people... They came in through the millions. He went down to the border in Texas, and he infringed on Texas's sovereignty by literally reopening the border after the governor asked for the border to be shut down.
I don't defend Biden for doing that. I think that was a mistake.
So to me, that's like he's stepping on the very concept that makes this country functional. He's stepping on the concept of federalism. So, I mean, and people complain about Trump using the National Guard. Now, he used the National Guard to do that.
So do you think it's okay for us to criticize both people in terms of what their wrongdoings are? Okay, so do you criticize Trump?
Yeah, of course. I think the Epstein rollout was awful.
You know what? We'll get into Epstein. We'll go into more depth. But right now, I just want to talk about Jubilee simply because there was a point of contention, and it was 70%. Those two words, or rather that number and that figure right there, was what really made or broke the debate. And you said that 70% of all detainees have a criminal background. Do you still
It
stand?
was criminal and or had been arrested in the act of committing a crime or had been charged, right? So that's what the DHS data says. He cited a different study, which was the UCLA Berkeley study, which says 43%. And the reason why it's 43% is that they exclude several types of crimes. So that's
not true.
So what is it?
So I understand that the information may be misconstrued, and I don't blame you at all. But the reasoning behind the study was because they didn't believe the DHS was being transparent. I can pull up, here's some quotes by Kristi Noem. She says, the Trump administration...
No, but tell me about the study.
Yeah, I'll get to it. Please, let me finish, or allow me to land. The Trump administration has specifically targeted the worst of the worst. Most of those without charges in the U.S. have convictions or pending charges in their home country. So she says that, but the DHS provides no data and no analytics to provide evidence that these people actually have charges back home. And this is what Kristi Noem is saying. This is what the Border Czar is saying. And so what they did is they got this information through the Free Information Act. Yeah, these political scientists. And the 43% are people with criminal charges or convictions. And then the rest of the percent are people that have not been convicted. These are people that have been charged or accused of this crime going on in their domestic country or where their country of origin is. So I think that is where the debate went wrong, because this information is being misconstrued.
So basically you're saying that I was right.
No, I'm not.
Because I said 70% convicted or charged or caught in the act or whatever wording I used. But that's
a charge. A charge is not the same thing as a conviction.
Well, we can debate semantics around.
No, this isn't semantic. This is legality. We're discussing legal terms here.
At the end of the day, the vast majority are people who have some sort of criminal record, whether it's here or back home. I just want them out. That's really what the point was. It got derailed because he started obsessing. And by the way, they didn't fact check over the DHS aspect of it, because he said it was DHS data, and that's really what created the impasse. If he had appropriately cited it, saying it was the UCLA Berkeley study,
I mean, technically it is.
He would have moved. Well, no.
So let me show you.
It's not, because it's a different study. Okay.
Well,
so it's a revision of that study, and also Jubilee should have actually fact-checked him on that, which they didn't.
I think
so. That just shows the implicit
But don't
bias.
you think it's ironic that you're discussing facts, meanwhile you're just ignoring my legal terms as minutia, that this is irrelevant, I just want them out? I mean, that doesn't...
The whole point is we're discussing immigration policy and whether it's fair or not that these people are being deported. I cited a piece of data. He cited another one. He incorrectly cited it, and there's a differentiation of opinion on how the determination of the people who are being deported is being done, right?
But
I just want people out. At the end of the day, whether it's 43%, whether it's 1%, it's 1% too many. I was just citing a piece of data, and it got derailed because he obsessed over one aspect of it, which is kind of what we're doing right now. The point is, people shouldn't be here illegally. If they're criminals here, they should be deported. If they have a criminal record back home,
but they're not criminals,
they should be. So what? I mean, what do you qualify a criminal? Somebody who's been convicted and charged. That's not criminality?
No, it's not. No, being charged doesn't make you a criminal. It just means you are still able and you are still allowed due process. And until you've been...
But that's the thing. If you're not a citizen, that's not how it works.
Yes, it is. The Constitution clearly states peoples. It makes a distinguish.
See, that's more of a liberal view of it. You don't have
You don't have
the entire protection. You don't have the entire protection. If you are here illegally, you don't have full protection of the Constitution. You're not a citizen. If you're illegally.
This was the case after Arira, but they are certainly entitled to some judicial review.
So you agree with me? I'm glad.
Allow me to finish.
Okay, finish.
I don't agree with you in the sense that they should simply be deported and that they are criminals, because legality, if you want to speak legal terms, they are not criminals, okay? And you can smirk at me all you want, but this is the reality.
I'm just listening to you.
And I think we should discuss how we should operate deportations as an institution from people that recently overstayed their visas and then people that have stayed in this country for decades.
Well, how long is fair enough for a person to be in the country without getting a visa?
So this is another...
Or any sort of documentation.
Yeah. So right now, do you know how long someone is banned if they're...
I don't care. I just want to know how long is long enough.
See, so when we talk about how long is long enough, you have to address what already...
Laws exist for a reason. I'm not going to arrest somebody for murder and say, okay, well, maybe at some point something happened to him that led him to kill somebody.
So if a man,
I'm not going to give him the consequences.
So if a man dies in another man's home, you're not going to understand the circumstances whatsoever. A man was murdered. The robber was.
You're going to investigate.
Exactly.
The difference is that this person's here illegally and committed a crime. That's it. Or was charged with a crime. Or has a crime back home. Whatever it is, just the act of crossing the border is a misdemeanor. That in of itself, crossing the border, that's a misdemeanor. That's a crime.
We're
the
not
act
talking.
overstaying your visa is a civil offense. Okay, and then if you get deported and come back, that's a crime. Okay?
We're not talking about people with criminal backgrounds.
Now I'm talking about just regular people who don't even have criminal backgrounds and are committing a crime by entering the country through the southern or northern border.
When you cross the border, that is a misdemeanor.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I said.
gives you a criminal background. Yes or no? Yes.
Yeah. It's a crime.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a crime.
It's a misdemeanor.
Overstaying your visa
Civil
is
offense.
not a crime. It's a civil
offense.
Which is why the DHS shows that only 30% of people have a criminal background. These are people that recently crossed the border. These people, the 70% without a criminal background aren't people crossing the border. They are people who have been in the U.S. for a longevity, people with decades and with children.
Either committed a crime or convicted, or have a crime back home.
No, not committed a crime or convicted. They haven't committed a crime, point blank, period. Hence why they don't have a criminal background.
Okay.
Dennis, come on, what's so hard to...
There's a process in this country. Are you against due process? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not against... I'm for due process.
Are you against the immigration process of getting documentation?
Yes. You're
against it?
Yes.
You don't think immigrants should have to go through a process to get immigration? Do you believe in borders?
I do believe in borders.
So why have a process to get documentation then if you believe in borders?
Okay, first, let's address the first question instead of shotgunning questions one at a time. I do disagree with the system because it is very hard for someone to actually gain documentation and be naturalized. Do you know the 3 channels in which...
I don't care, dude. Go to Japan. You can't even get in. Japan only allows 400 immigrants
We're not talking about Japan.
Japan only allows 400 immigrants every year. America allows over 1 million. We're the most generous country in the world when it comes to legal immigration. Come in the right way. Yeah. That's all that I care about. Come in the right way.
Yeah.
I don't care what excuses, what you can find. Oh, yeah, but this person stayed here for 20 years. I don't care. The law's the law. I'm not going to make exceptions for it. Especially as somebody who's there to write law and defend law. My job isn't to find exceptions. My job is to uphold the law. You can talk about it all you want. But I'm tasked with the duty, and I have to swear on a Bible the day that I'm sworn into office that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws of this country. I'm not going to find ways to not uphold it. I'm not an ideologue. I'm there to represent my district and my people, and the laws mean something. Unless you think otherwise.
I do believe that it is a very logical argument to believe that your country should have sovereignty and have borders. That is what defines a country. I'm not disputing that. What I am disputing is the limitations on legal channels that we have for people to become naturalized. I think
change the laws then. Don't make exceptions.
So are you
don't make exceptions for people?
Don't make exceptions. You keep cutting me off.
No, I'm just saying. Don't make exceptions for people.
This isn't a matter of exceptions.
Or haven't fully followed the process. It is exceptions. You're advocating for numerous exceptions. You're saying, but if somebody stayed here a decade or 20 years or whatever, I don't care, dude. My family doesn't even live in the country.
That's just such a limited scope.
No, it's following the law. It's following the law. Do you agree with that at least?
Agree with what?
That it's following the law?
Sure. But
okay. So you disagree with following the law then?
I don't disagree with. This is actually a straw man. And this is unproductive.
I'm just trying to follow your logic. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from.
This is just a classic Republican get them all out trope that just doesn't work. And I'm sorry, but the people watching here are just going to look way past it because the evidence suggests several things. Number one.
Well, you just built a huge hasty generalization saying that this is in fact, you cited Reagan earlier. He literally gave amnesty to over 3 million people, which is part of the reason why he got the Latino vote in this state. So that is not a Republican trope. That's just me choosing to follow the law.
Obviously, when I say Republican, I'm referring to contemporary politics. This isn't me referencing a politician from 5 decades ago. I think in good faith you can agree.
Contemporary politics, Obama deported more people than Trump.
I clearly said Republican.
So but I'm saying you're saying Republican contemporary politics. I'm citing an example of the opposite. I'm citing Obama deported more people than Trump.
Yeah,
thus, it's in the interest of the country to follow the law because a Democrat did it as well.
Do you think it's in? Okay, well, first of all, Obama, throughout his term, shifted to targeting people with actual criminal backgrounds, people with felonies, people with violent
cages. What do you think about that?
Kids in cages?
Yeah, the child separation policy, that was him.
Kids in cages. That's really what we're calling it.
And that's what the Democrats called it when Trump did it, but they didn't have a problem calling that. They had no issue calling it out. They didn't call it out when Obama was doing it.
Kids in cages.
They literally, that's literally rhetoric straight out of AOC.
Here's the thing. I think it's unjustified on both sides. What I will also say, however, is we have to consider that these people in this country are providing an economic benefit. And this is actually something that
how much do they pay towards taxes? How much do they take out?
$96 billion according to federal taxes in 2022. But
how much do they spend?
It's
how much does it cost the state?
It's a couple $2 billion for them to
false.
This is not false.
Just in the state of California, it was $12 billion on healthcare. So that's false. It was by most estimates between 100 to 160 billion.
If you allow me to finish,
it's by most estimates between 100 to 160 billion dollars.
See, what we're doing is you're just speaking over me, and
because you're actually citing something you're wrong, and I'm correcting you.
And let's talk about citing things, okay? So, have you ever heard of the National Academies of Science? They are a completely bipartisan research group that actually study this. They said, we see a lot of Republicans and Democrats alike talk about this. They talk about how much it costs for first-generation immigrants in the country and within their specific states. So they researched it. They said, let's see how much they cost. And it shows, and I could read these off to you, that first-generation immigrants can be a fiscal cost at the state and local level. So I will give that to you. That is a fact. However, their study concluded that second-generation immigrants are among the strongest net fiscal contributors.
Why did you not want to say that?
Because, I don't know, it's just wording. But the second-generation immigrants are among the strong, because I didn't want to say however to dismantle you, because I want this to be a productive conversation. But
we're having a debate. I'm fine. I'm doing fine. I do this all the time. I don't take this stuff personally. I'd rather engage like this, because engaging like this tests ideas. I'm very confident in the stuff that I know. I read it up all the time. I study it.
But you were wrong about the 70% of people having a criminal background.
I actually wasn't wrong, because I was citing the DHS data that is available, that you can look. There's a dispute, and you're citing the dispute. That's different. I cited the correct data, and you're citing the dispute. You're
funny.
Citing the dispute as though me citing a specific number from DHS is wrong. That's it.
Why are you yelling?
I cited DHS data. I'm talking normal. This is how I talk. Sorry, I'm Italian. I'm culturally Italian. Okay. I'm half Italian. Citizenship. I also have.
Well, I mentioned that they didn't have criminal backgrounds, and you said, that's minutia, illegals. I mean, the audience is watching. We can play it back. That's you saying that doesn't matter. And then you said right after that the whole point of it was immigration reform, immigration policy.
Yeah.
We have to establish legal grounding here.
So now you're like extrapolating all these senses. I was citing how I was bringing up that data in the context of another immigration debate, and how it's about how we were supposed to deal with the immigration situation.
So 70% of people, do they have a criminal background, detainees of ICE, yes or no?
That's DHS data that I'm citing, yes. So it says on their data, on their data, I'm citing their data. Argue. If you don't like the way the data cited, go argue with DHS. Go argue with the way they wrote their study. There's a reason why there's another study.
There's a reason why the DHS.
So here's why your argument falls apart. Because I never at any point said that the UCLA Berkeley study was not valuable. All I said was that it takes out a bunch of the criminal categories. And you actually attested to that, and you explained how it happened. So I'm citing, so let me explain what's happening. I'm citing the 70%, and then there's another counter study that says 43%, which is fine. Both studies can exist. They both can be true because they look at different data sets.
It's the same data set.
They have different interpretations.
The Deportation Data Project gets the exact information that the DHS gets from Immigration Custom Enforcement. This is the same data under the Free Information Act. They can't disport it in any single way. And I'm gonna quote you. Did they address the methodology? Did they use the same methodology? Did they address why they used a more clear one to distinguish legal?
A different methodology, so that's why they got a different result.
It's the same data. Same data, more clear methodology. Do you understand
how different methodology means you're going to get a different result?
I don't think you understand how these legal terms make a difference in the rhetoric that we have people spewing today.
You're purely talking about rhetoric. I'm talking about the data.
Jesus Christ, Dennis. Okay, let's talk about the data.
It's
let's
not that stressful, dude.
It's
We're
no,
just
I mean it's just
because,
like we're
it's
going
not
in
because I'm holding your feet
circles.
to the fire that this is like you're gonna say something to me. I'm gonna test that idea. I'm not scared of you
And
testing my idea either. We can talk it out.
You don't
That's
have
what
to
that's
put
what
on
we're
this
doing.
big man show of saying
This is who I am. It's not a big man show.
like
this is who I am.
you don't phase
I
me,
do
and
this
this
all the
doesn't
time.
do that. Like I'm sorry, but this is unnecessary.
It's not about phasing you. This is my personality. Hey, you should have. You did research. You didn't look at. This is literally my personality.
And this is what has got you
canceled. I'm a bully. I'm a literal bully. That's what I'm going to do in Congress.
You're not a bully. Moist Critical bullied you off your platform. Moist Critical bullied you out of your own audience.
How did he bully me?
He bullied you by making people unsubscribe to you and you just falling off the map.
Well, that's fine. I think you know what? That's how the internet works. If everything were a popularity contest, you know what happened? You know who was super popular at one point? Adolf Hitler. You know what he did? He killed a ton of his people. No, he actually won Time Man of the Year too in America. He was super popular. There was the Nazi Party in America. So if everything's a popularity contest, guess what? People get stuff wrong. So that's a fallacy in and of itself. So at the end of the day, you can bring up my history.
Dennis, you realize the entire point of this is for you to understand that a charge is not the same thing as a conviction. Any serious policy analyst...
I don't care.
But you should care. If you're saying that 70% of people have criminal backgrounds, that completely changes.
That's the DHS data. Do I have to explain this to you again? I'm citing data.
Yes,
I am
the
citing
DHS.
Data.
Okay.
Do you understand the difference? I'm citing data. It's not that I don't understand the data. I'm saying according to DHS.
According to DHS.
According to
and Kristi Noem.
According to this moment, this phone is right here. I'm stating a fact.
According to the DHS and Kristi Noem, 70%.
I do have to go in like 5 minutes.
Okay, for sure. Simply do because they are supposed criminals in their domestic countries. The DHS has not provided evidence for that.
I don't care. That's the DHS. That's a DHS problem. I'm citing data. Do you understand? I'm just citing data.
I think this is an American people problem because we should be able to.
What do you have against Americans?
This is an American people problem.
What do you have against Americans?
This is actually crazy. I'm okay. I'm not going to entertain the BS. But what I am going to say, this is an American people. This isn't a matter of that's DHS. We can ignore them. No,
so
the American,
the American problem. Don't put it on the American people. And by the way, that's a huge hasty generalization because most Americans are just focused.
See, this politician trope that you're doing is just failing you miserably.
I can't stand up for the American people.
You hate Democrats, hate America. You are doing this. You hate the American people. It just doesn't work. I mean, you want to talk about engaging with actual ideas. You think that's worth engaging with? Are we serious?
What's the problem with standing up for Americans? You got a problem with that?
I'm standing up for Americans by saying
so
that.
You said.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna let you do this on my show. This is not what's gonna be happening. Okay, we're gonna make the bottom line clear. A charge is not a conviction, and the DHS says this because they are supposed criminals in domestic countries.
You are obsessing over one bit of data that I was just citing data. And that's it.
And you don't let me finish. That is the crazy part. We wanna talk about me obsessing over one piece of data. You are obsessing over not letting me finish because you know I'm gonna make a coherent point.
I'll put 1 minute.
You know, no, we're not gonna do a timer. It's gonna be less than a minute. But you know, you'd find out. You would find out if you didn't cut me off.
Here, I got 1 minute.
Now, why hasn't okay? Let me ask you this: why hasn't the DHS proven the criminal backgrounds of these people in their domestic countries?
You want me to speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why hasn't the
DHS proven that these people are actual criminals with backgrounds in their domestic or native countries?
Go ask Kristi Noem.
Exactly. If Kristi Noem wanted to, the DHS could most easily put out this information proving that these people have.
So here's the thing. I can cite a piece of data and disagree with part of their policy and their conduct. It is two things.
How they conduct the data.
Citing a piece of data means I can't scrutinize the leadership. I've scrutinized it numerous times. I said that I don't agree with the way ICE is carrying out the removals. I'm pretty fair when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm not like just fixed on a thing like.
I mean, you can say that I'm fixed on it.
Yeah, you can cite data, and I can disagree with a policy or disagree with a person, and even acknowledge that hey, Maybe it's incomplete data, but I'm still citing that bit of data.
So then why can't we appreciate the UCLA and UC Berkeley data and research that they're doing?
I never said it should be thrown
So
out or anything.
isn't it
a different study? Here's my point.
Okay, no. Dennis, let me finish. Deportation Data Project gives us a more transparent analysis of the information that the DHS is using. So if Christy,
no,
let me finish, please. What is wrong with letting me finish?
Because you're bringing up the same point over and over again. You're like, I don't know if you're trying to convince me or you're trying to convince somebody at home.
Because
you're right, but
everybody at home knows I'm right because in legality terms, well, I mean, unless the people that just buy me.
Everybody at home, you're speaking for 100% of the people out there.
Of course.
So once this reaches outside of your audience, you're 100% sure that everybody's going to back your ideas.
Of course, because we're discussing.
Everybody's
sensible.
You're that sure.
Everybody's sensible. Everybody's sensible.
Everybody who's sensible. So you're saying that anybody who disagrees with you isn't sensible?
Well, if you let me finish, then they're going to see where I'm coming from.
I'm just holding you to account to your own words because this is what you're saying.
Dennis, this like you're trying to one up and it's just not working.
I'm not trying to one up. I'm actually holding you to the fire.
No, so Christy Noam holding me to the fire. Really, this is a guy running for federal office. What
am I supposed to do in federal office? You want a weak, limp person?
I don't.
Not holding people to account?
What I don't want.
What kind of politician do you
want?
What
I don't want in federal office is someone that advocates for public executions. What I don't want for someone running
executions of people convicted in Epstein files. What do you want to do? That's the only case that I've ever advocated for public executions. And the fact that you would take that out of context is extremely dishonest.
No matter what.
You just present it like I'm saying, like, hey, yeah, just execute people in public. No, it's specifically
regardless of who it is.
People were convicted in the Epstein files.
Regardless of who it is, there is a reason we outlawed public executions almost 100 years ago.
What do you think should happen to people who are convicted of people in the Epstein files?
I think they should undergo due process like anyone else convicted.
Yes. Yeah,
and then sentence. And if an execution is necessary, definitely not make it public.
Why not?
Because studies have shown, and you can look this up, especially with Cato, that this does not serve as an act of deterrence. And I actually did research on this because you said this on Ethan Klein's show.
Here's the thing.
Your entire thing was, this is a deterrence. This will get people. That is not the case.
So what do you think should happen? There's a global
What I think should happen is they should undergo due process.
Exactly. I never said they shouldn't undergo due process.
And they should.
I literally said they should undergo due process.
You know, for someone that wants to go by the legal terms, for someone that wants to go by the legal processes, you're advocating for something that's illegal.
Let me say one thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
How do you want to hold elites to account? Are you taking the side of elites? Is that what you're saying? You're saying that the elites should be allowed. People who have more money than anybody in the world. People who have
ladies and gentlemen,
decades. People who for decades got away with sexually abusing children.
You want to talk about
according to records they were eating children? Really? These are the kinds of people you want to protect? That's disgusting, dude. These are the kind of people that you want to protect. They have to have fear. The power to the people. That's what I stand for. Power to the people. Not power to the elites.
This might have worked on your YouTube channel back when you did have some clout, but it's not going to work here in a formal political debate.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Maybe in your platform it will work, but I can tell you for a fact that there are people out there who are going to see past this. There are people out there who want to see people who are the global elites who have gotten away with so much.
For someone
to see them held to account.
Someone that's always about coming after the global elites, you did a lot of defending of Donald Trump and his increase in net worth when you debated Isaiah Martin. You went out and said,
actually, that's a completely dishonest representation. I in fact said that I did not know enough about his crypto situation. And I asked him for data. He never presented me data. But you know what? I'm against any person enriching themselves in office, whether it's Ilhan Omar or Donald Trump. I don't care who it is. They should be enriching themselves in office. By the way, I support the bill to make insider trading illegal.
I'm glad. I'm glad we can come to common ground.
And I would actually say that every member of Congress should work just donating their salary out and should work purely based on donations from their constituents. In fact, I'm going to say this right here. My first 2 years in Congress, I'm going to donate my entire salary and just live off of whatever people donate to me.
That's honestly noble. I'm going to hold you to it. But
it's not hard to do.
That's if you do become elected, which I think is
once I'm elected,
very much past you. But with that being said, I'm sad that we couldn't address the 70% and that you've yet to acknowledge
you keep
that.
going around in circles.
But now
I do really have to go because if I'm late to this, then I can't. Yeah.
Okay, but real quick, you said that immigrants cost more to keep than they are to, or they cost more to maintain within the state of California and to keep around rather than deporting them. And I mentioned the National Academies of Sciences study because that shows that second-generation immigrants actually are one of the biggest net fiscal contributors to America. Yeah, but they're not
the immigrants; they're second generation.
Right. And then you, in that same claim, make the statement that they contribute or they take billions of dollars.
No, for a lot of people who are immigrants in this country take according, I think it's COB, I think it's the Congressional Budget Office.
It is CBO.
It's 150 to 160 billion dollars a year. And they contribute 50 to 60 billion dollars in federal taxes. That's just on the federal side. On the state side,
the CBO states $97 billion as of 2022.
On the state side,
that is false information.
Side, in fact,
but okay.
This was pulled up in the debate with Ethan Klein. On the state side in California, they contributed to just about 8.2 or 8.3 billion dollars
in state taxes.
And they just in healthcare took about 8.5 billion. Okay, so that's just on the healthcare side. There are other aspects. There's policing. There's the
education,
general infrastructure, education. There's a whole.
And where do you think that's going to? Do you think these first-generation immigrants are spending that money educating themselves?
I really do have to go, otherwise I'm going to miss
it's their children. It's U.S. citizens.
Okay.
So it's
I really do have to go.
Yeah, okay, for sure.
I do appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming through. Maybe we continue this. I would like to
continue
if you'd
and
like
don't
to.
come 30 minutes late.
Yeah, I apologize.
So, because I really wish we had more time so I could clarify a lot of these studies because I did research on that to clarify.
Well, we'll schedule it next week. I'm in Vegas for the next week, but I'll come back.
Yeah, we definitely have to do this again because.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. We can disagree.
we can
disagree, and it's fine.
You know what, Dennis? I don't think you're a terrible person. You know,
thank you. The bar's really
that may not mean a lot.
I actually think you're a pretty fine young man.
Thank you.
I'm not going to put the word terrible ever to qualify.
Right.
Especially somebody who's willing to sit across from me and put themselves in a vulnerable situation and have a conversation in this sort of toxic environment. Especially when I'm literally the minority point of view in the state. The state hasn't had for the last 60 years a diversity of ideology. In this campus specifically, there's a tyranny of consensus. There are a lot of conservative students who aren't allowed to speak. And me coming here and being the way that I am,
we will definitely talk about
the way that I am so I can push back and create space for these students. But that said, I do have to go. It is 5:30, and I have to be back in my office.
All right.
So I appreciate you.
Have a safe drive home.